Hello and welcome to the 2014 Homecoming Parade here at California University. I'm Kat Leverfinger. Alongside me is Cody Jeanette, and this year the theme is Spirit of America. It's shaping up to be a great day.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fantastic day. It's a little chilly outside right now, but the sun's starting to peek out from the clouds. The clouds are starting to thin out as we speak. It was a little overcast all morning and a little drizzly, but it's shaping out to be a fantastic day, especially for the football game later. It promises to be a great day weather-wise.
And at the end of campus, you can find things like the balloon artist, and there's food and a petting zoo. All the alumni come back to see what's changed on campus. There's construction in the union going on, and it's really nice to see. It's a great tradition to see all the alumni come back, Cody.
Yeah, very traditional. This homecoming tradition is fantastic here at Cal U, especially whenever the families and the alumni get to come back and see all the food and all the changes that the university may have undergone in recent years, which there have been quite a bit with the construction that you mentioned. But yeah, balloon artists everywhere, lots of booze. There's even a petting zoo this year, very unique, and they're all lined up in the Azorski parking lot. So it's shaping up to be a great homecoming, and we're going to be sending it away. So our little alien baby says, "We'll be right back."
The homecoming parade starts next. Stay tuned.
Don't miss a second of the exciting 2014 California University Vulcans football season. Whether home or away, CUTV is your home for Vulcans football. Watch every step of the way as Coach Keller and the Vulcans strive for a PSAC title and NCAA playoff berth. Your home for Vulcan football, CUTV.
Since 1937, the Student Association Incorporated, known as SAI, has served the Cal U student body by providing activities, programs, and services. Every enrolled student has the ability to take part in over 125 different clubs and organizations. Managing participation in every SAI activity is easy with OrgSync, a powerful tool for staying connected. Located 1 mile from campus, the SAI Farm has 94 acres of meeting and recreational space. SAI, it's your student association.
Tune in to Vulcan Football 2014 for the inside scoop on this year's Vulcan football team. Featuring highlights, scores, analysis, and a preview of the upcoming opponent, Vulcan Football 2014 gets you inside the huddle. Vulcan Football 2014, only on your home for Vulcan Football, CUTV.
For almost 30 years, CUTV has been the campus and community home for local news, sports, and entertainment. Broadcast in 100,000 homes in southwestern Pennsylvania, CUTV provides complete coverage of Vulcan sports as well as high school football coverage. Broadcast weekly live, CUTV News Center provides coverage of local and campus events, weekend weather, sports highlights, and feature stories. For more information on CUTV, check us out on the web, friend us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.
Hello and welcome back to the 2014 Cal U Homecoming Parade. The first thing we have coming down the street now are the campus police vehicles. Followed by that is an Army Jeep, and also
Yeah, it's going to be brought forward by the police escorts. They always lead the way every year, making sure everything's safe and in line. And while we have a second, as the vehicles are making their way down the street, I want to clarify a couple of things. While we were away at commercial, the crew was giving me a tiny bit of a hard time. During our open, I did say booths and not booze. And the alien baby is not ours. We adopted it. Just to get that out there for everybody to know, and to relieve the hard time that the crew was giving me. So regardless, we're about to get started here. They're making their way across the intersection now.
campus police are tossing out candy to the crowd, and there's also a officer on a Segway. I haven't seen that on campus. Have you, Cody?
Yeah, well, I think they started them last year. I think last year was when they got that grant get the segues onto public safety, but it's certainly really interesting. You don't normally see that in typical law enforcement. Just separates Calu's police from everybody else, making it very interesting as he's riding on. It's an interesting segue too. It's 3 wheels. Normally you should only see 2.
Yeah, it looks like a heavy-duty Segway. Like, it could go over some curbs and some rough terrain along with the ATV in front of it.
Going off-roading with a Segway.
That would be an interesting experience. And right now we have the military police. We have the traditional Jeeps, and then behind them there's also a bigger truck that would be used to move different supplies, I'm assuming.
Yeah, all decked out in the Army colors. It's the spirit of America. That's the theme this year. And how much more American can you get than the, besides red, white, and blue, of course, than the military camo colors, the browns, the greens, the blacks. It's just speaks out America. Military police, the military, they do so much for us over the whole history of this country. We got to where we are today thanks to them.
It is, and I really do enjoy the Spirit of America theme because it all gives us a chance just to appreciate our country a little more than just the 4th of July. It's really nice.
Yeah, before we went on the air, I came down for crew call in a gray shirt, and honestly, I didn't know what the theme of homecoming really was until today. And then I learned when it was Spirit of America, I was like, hey, I have a blue shirt and a red tie. I'm going to go wear that. And so came right back down, all decked out in my American gear, and it just added to the effect. It was really fun.
I wore my teal dress to be a little bit like Lady Liberty. And then behind our military vehicles is our interim president, Geraldine Jones. And is that her daughter with her? I believe that's her daughter.
It might be. Yes. Sitting up in the front seat. We weren't really given a list this year of the exact order of the floats like we have in the past. So our guess is anybody else's best guess.
President Jones looking lovely. She stopped. Oh, she was in the talent show last night, and then last night she made her rounds to the different floats to check on the progress. It was quite nice to see her out and about among the students. And right now you see the California Marching Band, the feature twirlers, leading the way.
Be on the lookout for one of CUTV's own Matthew Hagee, who will be on the near side coming down the street. He says he'll try to sneak in a wave at us, but I know how some of those band directors can be sometimes, keeping them straight in line, so we'll be on the lookout for him as he comes down the street.
Another interesting thing the band does is they have alumni come back to march with them in the homecoming parade. As you see, the 3 feature twirlers are in the front, but the women behind them are alumni of the feature twirlers, and then we have our drum majors. The band's going to stop, so let's just take a listen for a second, Cody. Matthew Hagee did keep his promise, and he did wave to us. That was Stars and Stripes Forever. The color guard looking lovely with their red, white, and blue flags.
And let me just say something, Kat. I was watching the twirlers leading the band, and some of the alumni that's there, they still got it in them.
Oh.
Regardless of the however many years they may have been out of school, they can still twirl just like they probably could in their days as a student here. They still got it in them. That's really impressive.
Well, they're still absolutely amazing. I love going to watch the band. I did it for 3 years, and they're honestly so wonderful. I love seeing all the alumni come back and being able to see that people still do come back to relive some of their college days.
What did you do in band, Kat?
I was in color guard,
Okay.
so I know a lot of the young ladies that are walking through right now. And then we're starting to see some of the floats coming along as the band's pausing to let some of the other acts continue moving.
Kat, I don't know if you've been warming up at all recently. It's still a little bit chilly, but and I'm sure those people for the color guard might be a little cold too, without their jackets on or anything.
I know they're probably a little chilly. I've been there before. It's going to be a nice game, though. I'm definitely excited to go see Cal and Slippery Rock play. It's going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be really important in terms of the standings. But of course, you'll be staying tuned to that later in the day. The kickoff is at 3:30 p.m. as of the time that we film this. We'll be seeing it later on in the day.
It does greatly affect them. If they win this game, it could mean a nice run in the playoffs. And here's our first float of the day. It is the band float. It looks to be a drum and a trumpet dressed up like Lady Liberty.
That's really peculiar artwork there. Honestly, whenever it was kind of far away in the distance, couldn't really tell what it was, but now I do see it. I do see the drum there. The drum being the black part going all the way around. And there's the torch. Looks like a torch right in front. And, of course, the stars and stripes on the side. Blaze, giving them a little hard time there.
Those are the members of the band's front ensemble and some injured members of the color guard riding on the back of that float there.
Here comes all the kids' favorite part, the candy.
Oh, everyone loves candy. I love when I'm 21 years old and I still love whenever they toss candy. It's wonderful.
And right behind them, we're seeing the Cal U cheerleaders put on a show.
They look wonderful. I would be so scared to do those stunts, but I think they're so brave and they look so good this year.
Yeah, that's really high up. They're hoisting each other really high into the air, but able to keep their balance really well. It takes a lot of athleticism. There's some people who argue that cheerleading is not a sport, but believe me, I'm sure it takes a lot of athleticism as it does a lot of other sports do.
Oh, it definitely does, and I love seeing them out at the football games because they're always a great presence. They get the crowd going. They're doing a wonderful job this year. And then next we have the California Highs baseball team. They won the section championships last year.
Yeah, you can see they have a banner right on the side of the fire truck. 2014 section champs, all sitting proud together on top of that, on top of the fire truck. Certainly, that's one thing that the California Borough has shining is their baseball team, and Cal U's baseball team has also been doing really well in the past, and very likely so because they have a lot of people from the quote-unquote farm system coming up from high school going into the college level.
Yeah, well, we wish them the best of luck on their upcoming season, and hopefully they can make it 2 years running. And here comes the California Fire Department.
That's a big fire truck.
They have a stuffed Dalmatian sitting in the front window. For a second, I thought it was a real Dalmatian,
really?
but it's
Where?
just a puppy.
I don't see it. Trying to look for it. Oh, there's the Dalmatian. Yeah, that does look like a real Dalmatian. Who's a good dog? He's a good dog, sitting in the front seat, being a loyal companion.
Well, Dalmatians are definitely known for being the companions of the firefighters. And now we have the homecoming court.
Homecoming court right behind the California Fire Department. There's been quite a few people that I've personally known on the homecoming court this year. I guess since I'm getting older now, I'm 22, I'm a senior, and now I'm starting to know more and more people, spending more time here. And it's like when I was a sophomore or a junior, I didn't really know too many people back on the homecoming court. So now that the social branches have outreached, it's been more relatable.
These are the parade grand marshals, Steve and Lynn Stout, in their beautiful red convertible. And next we have our Council of Trustees.
With a lot of these people, not the band, the parade would not be possible. So we definitely want to thank them and all the rest of the volunteers in the California Borough who spent their time putting this together every year. So far, it's been a big success, just like it has been every other year.
Oh yeah, it takes so much effort to put this together. And next we have our Alumni Association riding on the golf cart, tossing out candy to the kids.
It's like a golf cart limousine.
It really is.
I want one of those. Can ride it around in my backyard.
Next are some members of the homecoming court. The first ones we have are
We do have quite a few on the people on the homecoming court this year.
we have Jaquan Cornish and Ciasia Thorpe, looking lovely. The next one we have coming is Sarah Barger and Daniel Zwick.
A little thing. Guess I want to give a little personal shout out here too. Sarah Barger ran as a couple with someone in the homecoming that I went to high school with, Dan Carmichael. He didn't make the homecoming court, but give a little quick shout out to him. It was a good run, and I voted for you, but the high school alum didn't quite make it.
Our next group is Morgan Moltz and Ryan Tubbs. I always think it would be fun to ride in the back of a truck for homecoming. I think that's creative.
Yeah, it would. And they're all throwing candy out. Oh, that was a good catch there on the far sidewalk.
The next group we have is Jesse. Jesse McQuillan and Colby Detar.
Yeah, we're seeing it as you see it here at home, folks. We weren't given like I said before, we weren't given a list of the homecoming quarter of the specific order of the floats coming through. And so we're doing our best here to read the signs to you at home. We do have a list of the homecoming court members, though, just not the order that they're in.
Mm-hmm. And the next member of court is one of our very own, Santina Mirren, and she is accompanied by Jordan Savaro. They look lovely.
Waving at her own familiar CUTV cameras.
I'm so happy for Santina. She was so excited whenever she made court, and it's so nice to see everyone who made it this year. Now we have the little preview to the Miracle on 34th Street that will be in Steele Hall. We have a bunch of the characters running around the streets handing out candy.
Courtesy of the CalU Theater Department. Theater and Dance Department, I beg your pardon.
We have some toy soldiers, and we have... that's Raggedy Ann and what's her friend's name? I know there's Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy.
There you go, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Kat, I know a bunch of people in the theater department, and they are so passionate about what they do, and they do such a phenomenal job with their shows every year. I've seen a couple of them myself.
And here is last year's homecoming queen, Amy Dunn. She's coming back to hand off her crown to the next queen. So we'll see that during halftime, during the football game. She's tossing out some candy as well. And the King's sitting up front in the car.
Looks like he might have been trying to keep his head down, taking cover.
Making sure he doesn't lose his crown. And up next, we definitely have a very spirited America float.
These could be future members of CalU right here, Kat. You never know what their potential unfolds. Could be the next group of people putting on Miracle on 34th Street. You never know. Or they could be taking our spot, or they could be taking James Harris's spot on the Cal U football team. You never really know until the future tells it.
You're definitely right, Cody. Those kids could definitely be standing where we are.
Certainly have the voices for it.
And here comes our next float. It is the honors fraternity Phi Sigma Pi. Their ship's actually moving.
That is really impressive.
That is impressive. I wonder how they did that. Because building those floats are not easy. Chicken wire and pumps are not the best things in the world to work with. They get everywhere.
Yeah, they get everywhere. And that actually is really impressive that the boat is rocking back and forth. You know, don't rock the boat, but this is an exception here. I like this. And I also appreciate the colonial style American flag with the 13 stars going around the circle. That was the flag that was adopted whenever the country was first founded.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see them do this. I'm highly impressed.
And the shirts they're all wearing, they have their Greek letters in red, white, and blue, just like the American flag. They went all out on that one.
They did. Next we have another fire engine holding the California high school cheerleaders.
They better be careful that they don't fall off of that thing.
They look pretty good. They look a little chilly though. They're smart and they brought some blankets.
Blankets and jackets, they're staying warm up there, way high up on the fire truck. Kat, have you ever, I know you were in band for a few years. Have you ever done anything like cheerleading and sat on top of a fire truck before?
I actually was a cheerleader in elementary school, and I helped to build a float for my elementary school when I was younger. So whenever I came to college and was helping build floats, I was like, this is just all so familiar.
And I've been in a few parades and ridden in a couple of floats, but it's always for our community light up night. That's what it's always been for.
And right now we have some of the Stockdale Fire Company coming through with their
fire truck isn't as big as the California fire truck, but still very impressive there to look at.
and then their ATV, which is always, it's just so useful, especially whenever with the areas around here.
ATV on the trailer.
Cody, have you ever wanted to be a fireman? Have you ever thought about that as a career?
Actually, no. I can't say that I really have. I did want to be a private investigator, though, for maybe like a week. So that was I don't know. I guess that's kind of the closest thing to fireman that you can get to.
And now we have the Cal High Marching Band.
California High School Trojans.
And let's take a listen to them.
Boy, that brings back memories of high school, at least for me. Were you in band in high school, Kat, or just college?
No, I did band throughout high school. It's definitely nostalgic when we go to high school football games.
See, I was on the other end. I was always in the orchestra. I've been doing that for well over 10 years. That's always fun too. But just hearing that style of music again really brings back the high school memories.
And here is the California High Homecoming Queen. And followed by the rest of the court.
They're giving us a wave.
They look absolutely lovely. Did you ever think about running for homecoming, Cody?
I can't say that I really have. I mean, if I would have gotten nominated, that would have been cool and that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, that never really happened for for me anyway.
I was on a homecoming team in my high school. That sounds a little strange to some people, but we actually have teams for our candidates. We only do a homecoming queen, and I helped the girl who ran for color guard my senior year. It was absolutely fun. We do skits, and there's a games night, and obviously the dance. It's a lot of fun.
And that goes on all week?
It does. It goes on the whole week of homecoming.
Nice. That sounds real fun. The rest of the homecoming court for Cal High is strolling on by. In there, I must say, they have some pretty nice looking vehicles. They must have gotten them detailed before they came here.
Oh,
They're really shiny in the sunlight. The sun's starting to peek through. There's barely any clouds in the sky now.
Our next float is Delta Chi. Their float, they're grilling some steaks. It actually does move. You can spin it, and I walked down this morning, and they were starting the fire, throwing some colorful palms in.
And look at, I was going to say, look at the flames. You can see those palms coming up. Look at that. Those are like little flames popping up. That is really impressive. That's neat. I really dig that. That's cool. I'm really hungry. They better keep that away from me. And I know you're hungry too, Kat.
It does look quite good. I mean, what captures the spirit of America more than having a good barbecue, grilling up some steaks? Sounds like a good evening to me.
Those are T-bone steaks too.
Up next, we have a California alumni, former mayor of California, and our state representative, Peter J. Daly.
His car looks really well kept too. Throwing out some candy to the children, getting some public reputation. That's always fun to see, just as long as the kids get the candy that they're diving after. I can remember being younger, going to my high school's homecoming parade, like when I was real little, and just all I wanted was the candy. That's all I cared about.
And right now we have the California mayor, Walter Weld Jr., with his kids sitting in the back of his truck. It's always nice to see whenever the politicians come out to be. And then right now we have the animation club all dressed up. And we do have judges sitting by us, and there's a contest for the floats and for the banners. Theirs looks absolutely wonderful. I love that it incorporates both the American flag and the Japanese flag.
Yeah, that's really unique. I mean, with the animation club, Japan definitely has its history of Japanese animation and Japanese cartoons and stuff like that. So, which is it's only right that they do incorporate that, especially with it coming over to America. It may be the spirit of America, but the spirit of Japan came over in terms of that anyway.
It is. It's a big aspect of their club and everything that they do. Next, we have Dee Dee's Studio of Dance and all her students tossing out some candy to the kids.
Look out, there's a couple of line drives flying at us.
So, Cody, have you ever taken dance lessons, Cody? I mean,
on my own, I have. Just by myself, breaking down freestyle. That's my way to do it. I don't like being instructed. Whenever it comes to dancing anyway. I want to do my own thing. I don't care how out of style it may be. It's what I like to do.
I never took dance lessons as a child. I did gymnastics for a little while. But I know I have plenty of friends who did dance, and they still dance now, and it's a wonderful thing to get involved in. It gives you something to do. It keeps you out of trouble. It's nice to see you start something like this early.
Yeah, there's a couple people that on my floor in my residence hall that are actually on Cal U's dance team. So there's it's really popular all the way around.
Okay, and we have our next float coming. It's the Technology Club here. Their floats are always very well constructed. They have a moving part for Route 66.
Very historic American road, Route 66, and then with a bunch of looks like a bunch of Americana items. I see kind of like something that resembles a barbershop pole with a bald eagle on top of it, and his wingspans are like the blue with the stars.
It's quite impressive because building. It also looks like a totem pole, Cody. It's Oh, they have 2 spinning Route 66 signs. It's quite impressive to be able to move stuff like that on the float, because it's never easy, because you want to make sure nothing falls off when it starts moving.
Oh, yeah, and it makes it that much better, just more appealing to the eye. Like you said, we have a panel of judges looking at these floats, and they notice those kinds of things. But if I was a judge, I definitely really appreciate the American taste with the barbershop pole. And and there's a teepee back there, too. The Wigwam Motel is what they call it.
And right now we have the Roscoe Fire and Rescue Department.
Well, we saw the police drive through. Now we're going to see the fire companies drive through. Saw the California one earlier.
It's always nice to see. It's always nice to see the fire departments come out. It's one of those things you definitely think of when you think of like parades, like the fire department comes out and they get a showing in the community, and it's nice to see them get some support.
Yeah, and the flashing lights really grasp everybody's attention. I guess that's why they always have the police cars that lead, because their flashing red and blue lights can tell everybody, hey, look out, the parade's going to start. It's time to get some candy, kids.
I think that's definitely one of the best parts of the parade is candy.
Oh, that's all that I looked forward to when I was younger anyway.
My little brothers love coming to the parades to see the fire trucks and all the different vehicles that they have.
And there's a couple of ambulances that are coming through and going up the street. They're turning out of the parade line, but behind the fire rescue squads.
And hope everything's okay. But as the fire trucks continue to roll by. Next we have the United Christian Church.
You a churchgoer, Kat?
I am. I do enjoy going to church. It's definitely something that has been an influence on my life. With their bright colored signs and their supporting their multiple groups.
Getting the young children involved too, holding their signs up, rallying down the parade line. And I can remember years ago, like I mentioned before, I was in the orchestra, but I've played my instrument for my church a few times, both during communion or during concerts and stuff like that. That's always fun too. It's always fun to do.
That's really nice. I definitely think it's great when you can get involved. And now we have Theta Xi and Phi Sigma Sigma. They have a very beautiful Statue of Liberty, and we have another moving boat.
And they went with the blue theme. Very strong blues here. Not too much red, except in the back. We see that on top of the smokestack, and they have their homecoming spelled out in red letters. With the blue, I guess I can see where they were going with the blue, because the Statue of Liberty is on an island in New York, and that's the bay surrounding it. It looks like, if I'm using my imagination correctly.
It's absolutely wonderful. Their Statue of Liberty looks quite accurate, and I like that her torch is actually on fire. They remembered to incorporate that very important detail.
Holding the torch high in the right hand.
So have you ever seen the Statue of Liberty in person, Cody?
I honestly haven't. I've never been to New York, but that's one thing that I would like to do. I mean, it's such a historic landmark. Did you know, Kat, that the Statue of Liberty, when they first brought it over, I think it was from France.
It is.
Several hundred years ago, it was not its green color like
it's
it was.
Copper.
Yes.
And it turned green over time because of the oxidization.
Oxidation, exactly. That's your interesting trivia fact of the day. Whenever the Statue of Liberty was brand new, it was the color with the shine of a brand new copper penny.
And there is actually 2 Statue of Liberties in the world. There is also one in France.
And you know what else is interesting about those 2 statues? They're facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
They both look out into the Atlantic Ocean, and they're facing directly at each other. Who knows if they can see each other with how tall they are? That's something to ponder upon.
It could be a possibility.
I mean, the Statue of Liberty's eye is about as big as a small child, so it might be really big field of vision with that.
We have another car rolling through. It is the Cal U, a member of the Trust Council.
Yeah, they're rolling on through in the convertibles. The convertibles have real ongoing theme here. I guess it's that allows them to really stick their heads out and wave at the crowds that have gathered and throw candy out to the kids.
And we have a contestant for Miss PA USA 15 looking lovely, waving at the kids, tossing out some candy. She's a California High senior.
Now a USA chant has broken out with a horn in the background. Beep, beep, beep. USA chant, that's definitely American. They're preaching that they're American pride with that.
The next float we have coming is Tau Kappa Epsilon, or TEEK, and we have Delta Zeta with them. I think I walked down through the floats earlier, Cody, and this one is actually quite impressive. They tried to recreate the raising of the flag.
Well, I see the red truck going for the red and blue, of course, and then the soldiers all dressed in camo. And the rising of the flag, I forget what battle that was, but that was during World War II. It was the Battle of Iwo Jima. Special thanks to our director Gary Smith in the truck for clarifying that for me. But that is one of the most famous snapshots ever taken in photography all around the world, is the rising of the flag there. Everybody knows it. They just don't know what it's from until it's explained.
It's absolutely iconic, Cody. As soon as I saw it, I knew what it was, and they did an absolutely wonderful job to create those standing men, because that's not easy. That's basically plywood and chicken wire that they made into their soldiers. And
palms.
It's very impressive. Chanting USA again with their American flags and their red, white, and blue shirts.
But especially when it comes to art and photography, nothing gets more iconic than the rising of the flag on after the Battle of Iwo Jima.
And then right now we have the Brownsville ambulance service coming through. We've had a few ambulances leave the parade, but still going on. They're still here.
Yeah, they're coming through. We saw the police departments come through and the fire departments. Now we're seeing the ambulances. So, Kat, have you ever ridden in the back of an ambulance?
I have not. I have thankfully avoided that, having to do that. My little brother, however, did, because he had he was playing football and he ended up getting a concussion, and
oh my goodness,
they ended up taking him away by ambulance. But yeah, thankfully I have avoided ever having to be taken away in an ambulance.
Yeah, and I have too, with the exception of only one time. I guess I didn't ride in the back of it. I was in the back of one, though, during I ran cross country in high school, and before a race one day, it was an invitational down at Shenley Park in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I started having these really bad chest pains, and I remember learning in health class a few weeks before that's usually the first sign of a severe medical problem, and so I went to the ambulance and they checked me out. They said I was okay, but still had a little bit of trouble with my chest, and I didn't run that day, just as a precaution.
Now we have the Brownsville Area High School Marching Band.
Our director Gary Smith's alma mater. He's in the truck cheering right now. And last night we saw, Kat, the Brownsville Falcons take on the Derry Area Trojans in a statewide televised game on PCN. They gave one heck of an effort that unfortunately just came up short after a blocked field goal, 19-18.
They fought hard. That's not a big deficit. They definitely were so close to clinching the win. And now we have the Brownsville Area High School Boosters throwing out some candy. Definitely looking very American, with their falcon on the back of the truck waving.
I'm wondering if that falcon has a spare, like a bald eagle friend somewhere that he could have brought along for the ride with them. You never know those birds and what they're up to.
This is true. Birds are definitely an interesting animal.
I used to want to be a bird. If I had to pick an animal to be, I'd want to be a bird, so I could fly.
Well, coincidentally, our next float is Acacia and Alpha Sigma Tau, or AST. They have a moving part too.
Now, did you help build any of these floats, Kat?
I did. My float has not come through yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be anxiously awaiting for that. But yeah, A lot of these floats here seem to have going with a boat in the sea theme with the with America, and it looks like there's a plane taking off, so it might be like a naval carrier.
It's an aircraft carrier, and then their tank, the top of their tank moves.
And
We've seen a lot of military-themed floats too, and their shirts are military-themed.
Yeah, they have the dark green shirts in the
Oh.
back.
Sorry, my correction, that is not Alpha Sigma Tau, that is Alpha Sigma Alpha, or ASA. Sorry, it was my mistake.
They're singing "Party in the USA." I was wondering what they were doing.
Very fitting.
Now we figured it out. That's really interesting. We never saw anybody do that before.
Having a lot of fun, having a great showing. Next we have Homecoming 2014, the CalU off-roaders in their various vehicles.
What's
I
that?
just see a lot of them are Jeeps.
Real live trees on the back of it. We haven't seen anything like that before. We saw maybe some floats made trees with their palms, but these guys actually have real live trees on the back of their Jeep.
They are. I've actually never been off-roading. Have you, Cody?
I have once before, a couple of times. Actually, I didn't drive. I rode with somebody, but I do like to go outdoors and off-roading because I have a few cousins that live by the Youghiogheny River, and we go swimming in the river all the time. They used to have a rope swing there too, which is always really fun. But we would see people riding through on quads and bikes all the time.
I've definitely thought about it, but then I'm like, I'm gonna get all muddy and I'm gonna be dirty. And I don't know how
That's
I
all
feel.
part of it. That's all part
I don't
of it,
know how I
though.
feel about that.
That's all part of it, though.
Some of the vehicles rolling through, they're definitely very impressive because they have to be able to get themselves out of really deep mud, and I don't know if I'd ever be willing to drive one of those vehicles. I think I'd be a little scared.
Yeah, there's a few different vehicles too that like you can take in water because what they do, I forget what they call them, but if you fill up the tires, the inside of the tires with gasoline, that's lighter than water, so you can float and you can just drive through the water. I'm not even making that up.
It's actually quite interesting. I think it'd be interesting to see. One of them looks like it was just recently off-roading, a little covered in mud.
Another USA chant coming from the distance.
All right, and here we have Alpha Sigma Tau, or AST, with Alpha Kappa Lambda, or AKL. They have a spinning eagle on their float, which
Now look at that.
I kind of wonder how they get these things to move, because I've seen some creative ideas.
We see what looks like the San Francisco Bridge
And the Washington Monument.
and the Washington Monument. Historic American icons.
And there they are, chanting.
Bunch of USA chants, and I gotta say, I think this is the float that has had the most American flags, or just flags in general, waving around.
They have a few adorable dogs with them.
Dogs always add a nice touch.
It's definitely nice to see that not only do the humans get to enjoy homecoming, but our four-legged friends get to as well.
They're tossing out the candy. Getting that American spirit flowing with the USA chant.
Now we have the Frederickstown Fire Department coming through.
More.
I actually almost got to climb up a fire ladder once. I've never been in an ambulance, but I almost did get to climb a fire ladder.
And what was that for?
They were doing a fire safety day at my school, and then I decided it was too high and I didn't want to do that. It was
Are
scary.
you afraid of heights?
I'm not necessarily afraid of heights. They make me uncomfortable, but I'm okay with them. I mean, I like things like roller coasters, but
Okay.
I was also like 8, and the ladder
Oh.
was quite high, and I'm quite a short individual.
It's probably a lot higher back then than it is now, probably.
Probably.
But still, that's still quite a feat.
And here we have Sigma Kappa and Fiji. That's the float I helped work with. We have
Is that Uncle Sam?
It is Uncle Sam turning his head.
Wow. Uncle Sam with the American flag backdrop behind him.
It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun going into it. I mean, we spent hours upon hours putting those pumps in.
Well, now you worked on this float, and it has a moving part. We've been talking about how these people get the parts to move. How did you get Uncle Sam's head to move?
Actually, I got to see this last night. It is the part of a fan that turns like a rotating stand,
Okay.
and that's how his head moves.
I'm surprised the palms aren't just blowing out from the fan blades just going all the way around the
They
circle.
removed the fan part, so it's just the stand.
Oh, okay. Probably needed to do that.
It took a lot of work, and there's a lot of spray glue that goes into that, and they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance right now. And here we have Cess Lawn Care, definitely getting some good advertising in.
Behind them, we got some people on horseback. Definitely going back to more of like an old Western theme for America. It looks like with the cowboy hats.
It is the Shrine Horse Patrol of Pittsburgh, PA. It's definitely interesting. Horses are quite beautiful. Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes. Yes, I actually have. On my 12th birthday, one of my birthday presents was a day at going horseback riding. And I remember my horse. He sneezed a lot. My horse, for some reason, sneezed a lot. I don't know if he was allergic to me or something, but he was still a good horse. He didn't do that thing where they lay down and roll over on their back to cool off or anything. So I was able to escape in one piece. But still, that was a really fun day.
I've actually never ridden a horse. I've ridden like ponies as a child, but I've never actually ridden a horse. I think they're beautiful, but they kind of scare me because they're quite large animals.
Yeah, if you stand right up next to one, it's like they're taller than you, so it can be a little overwhelming, I guess.
Most things are taller than me. And now we have more members of the Shrine Horse Patrol just following behind the horses, cleaning up after them, you know.
Red banner on a blue truck. Perfect color scheme.
It is. It's very fitting. And now we have
These guys are fired up.
another float coming. It is Sigma Tau Gamma, or Sig Tau, and the dance team.
What's on the back of their shirts?
It says Our True Colors.
Our true colors. Okay.
A lot of the members of Sig Tau are active members in the military or have previously served. I have a lot of friends.
That's wonderful. They have the tank on the back of their truck, putting on a show for the judges.
Of course, showing their spirit.
Does the tank move?
I believe it's supposed to. I think something is going to happen on the back of their truck. They have a salute to the troops. And then next we have the Denora Fire Department right behind our military float. The dance team has stopped to perform.
I wonder if they're going to be judged as well.
That could be a possibility. It could definitely add to the spirit effect of the float.
And the Denora people on top of that fire truck there, they're hanging on. They're staying safe on top of their fire truck.
And there goes the dance team. They look very stoic up there. I think that would be scary. I'm not the most coordinated individual. I would be afraid I would fall. But they're not going too fast.
See, I'm not afraid of heights, but I am afraid of falling. So that'd be a challenge for me. But as long as I had something to hang on to, I think I'd be okay.
And next we have the Crows handing out American flags to the bystanders and
Oh, that's
tossing out
beautiful.
some candy. That's actually quite amazing. They have also an aircraft carrier.
And we saw a bunch of people waving American flags, but these people are actually giving them out.
Giving out American flags. It's absolutely wonderful.
And what is that on the back of their float they have? Is that another ship with an aircraft
It's
on it?
an aircraft carrier. And then just the way we started the parade, we're going to end it with the California University Police.
Bringing up the caboose.
It's been a great day. It's definitely turned into a lovely day. And I'm definitely excited to go to the football game later and see who our homecoming queen is and get the results of all the float contests and the banner contests.
Yeah, Cal U against Slippery Rock, shaping up to be a fantastic game.
Well, for Cody Jeanette, I'm Kat Leberfinger. Thanks for watching.